All right, here's the Chapter 7 review, 1 to 31 on page 612. So we know that probability can range from 0 to 1 or from 0 to 100%. So all the probabilities have to add together to either 1 or 100%. So if we add all these together, we do not get 100%. We add them all together, we get 0.92. That's not 100% or 1. So this is not a valid probability assignment or a distribution, whatever you want to call it. The next one, we want to find the probability that a person selected at random will buy a medium-sized drink. This is the very simplest probability. We add all these together, we get 360 total number of items sold, and then we want medium, it'd be 146. So it's 146 out of 360. Number 5, this would be best done with a Venn diagram. So we have the two circles here, and we have S stands for sports, and then band, and the universe is 30 students. So the best way to do is go backwards. So 5 in both, so we put a 5 there. Sports is 10 total, so we put a 5 here. And then we have 12 there, so we put a 7 here. And that added together is only 17. So I need 13 more, and these people wouldn't be in either one. Okay, so we want probability. Find a probability a student participates in sports or band. So you would add all of these together. That's 17 out of 30. And that's probability of sports or band. And it's just that plus that plus that out of the 30 total in the universe. Okay, number 7. Mark and Melanie are 2 of the 10 students who volunteer to tutor students after school. 4 students are selected to tutor at South Elementary. Find the probability that Mark and Melanie are among the 4 selected. Okay, so for this problem here, we have probability of, we have C 10, 4. That'd be all the ways to pick 4 students out of 10. Okay, Mark and Melanie picked would be C2, 2. So there's only one way you pick them, right? Then we have to have all the ways to pick the other 2 students, and that would be C8, 2. Order doesn't matter, so it's all C's. So there's one way to pick Mark and Melanie, C2, 2, that's 1. And then you got to pick 8 more. Or out of the 8, you got to pick 2. So this answer would be 28 over 210, which reduces to 2 out of 15. Number 9. It says a single card is picked from a deck of 52 playing cards. Find the probability that it'll be a king or a spade. So the kings, this is where there's overlap, right? There's 13 spades, and then there's 3 kings that aren't spades. So the 13 here includes the king, and then the 3 extra would be the other kings. So this is the spades, are 13, and then this would be the king of hearts, the king of diamonds, and the king of clubs. So those are the other 3 kings. The king of spades got counted over here. You can't count it twice. Divided by 52 would be 16 out of 52, which is equal to 4 out of 13. Okay, so there's that one. Number 11. Number 11, a coin is tossed 5 times. Find the probability that all 5 things will land heads up. Okay, so these are all independent events. The coin doesn't remember what happened the last time, right? So the probability of a head, given a head, is still, it's just multiplying by a half, and we're going to have 5 of them show up. So you could write this 1/2 to the 5th power, or 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2, which would be 1 out of 32. Okay, So there's 32. The sample space is 32 because we want 5 tosses where it land heads up. So heads, 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 right? That's one choice out of 32. Then it could be heads, 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 tails. Then it could be heads, 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 tails, heads, right? So there's 32 different ways that could be rearranged. Okay, number 13, must have water. Number 13, an elementary school teacher has a collection of mathematics review questions, including 10 addition, 8 subtraction, 15 multiplication. A computer randomly selects problems for the student. Find the probability that the first problem selected is an addition or a multiplication problem. Okay, so there's all the possible things. If we add all these together, there's no division, right? So that would be 23, 33. So there's 33 things that you could pick of, and you want addition or subtraction. Addition would be 10, subtraction would be 8. So it'd be 18 out of 33, which is 6 over 11 if we reduce it. Then when the probability that the first two are subtraction or multiplication problems. So subtraction, or, which would be addition, multiplication. So it'd be 8 out of 33 times 7 out of 32, because I've got a subtraction problem, and then there'd be one less. So it's 8, 7, 33, 32, plus multiplication problems, there's 15 of those. So it'd be 15 over 33 total times 14 over 32 total. So this fraction to multiply together times that. Add those together. I got 266 over 1056, which is 133 over 528. So that's what's going on over there. So it's subtraction, or multiplication. That's what the way that one's working. Okay, number 15. Okay, 15. It says, a bargain table has 40 books, 10 are romance, 10 are biographies, 10 are crafts, 10 are historical fiction. 2 books are selected at random. What's the probability that they're the same kind? Ooh, the same kind. Okay, so the same kind would be 10 out of 40 times 9 out of 39. Okay, so that's romance followed by romance. But we multiply that by 4 because it could be romance, biography, craft, or historical. So there's 4 different situations, but they're all going to be the same fractions. So we can just multiply it by 4. And that gives us 9/39, which is 3/13. That's A. B, they're different kinds. Okay. Well, it's going to be 10 over 40 times 10 over 39. That's 10 over 40, 10 over 39. So those are going to be different. It drops to 39 because we've picked a book, but it's 10 and 10 because it's the same book twice, right? Or I mean, it's 2 different books. There's 10 and there's 10 more available, but it drops down 1. Okay, and then on the answer key, we multiply that by 12. Why could it be? Well, it could be romance followed by a bibliography. It could be romance followed by a craft book. It could be romance followed by historical fiction, right? Then it could be biography followed by craft, biography followed by historical fiction, or the last choice would be craft times historical fiction. So there's 6 ways that could be. So you could pull out the R first and the B, or the R and the C. But you could also pull out B and R, C and R, right? All of these 6 ways can be switched. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 2. So I multiply that by 12. So this all multiplied together would be 10 13ths is what the final answer is for that one. Okay, number 17. This one here wants to know, are F and G independent events? Okay. So this one here, I think I'm just going to read through my explanation here because it's so much to do. So what I did, it wants to know, there's 52 cards, an even number, and let G be selection a 10. Okay, so an even number is 20 out of 52 because there's a 2, a 4, a 6, an 8, a 10 times 4. So there's 20 out of 52 because there's 20 even cards. There's only 4 10s, right? Well, the probability of F given G is 1, and that's not the probability of F. So no, it's not independent. Also, if it was independent, the probability of F times the probability of G would be the probability of F and G, which is 4 out of 52. So it doesn't work. Also, when it's independent, it follows this formula, okay, which is also not true. So this is not independent. So there's all the things that have to do with that. Okay, so there's that one. 19. 19, a die is tossed 4 times. Find the probability of obtaining a 1, 2, 3, 4 in that order. 1, 2, 3, 4 in any order. Okay, and then 2 even numbers, then a 5, then a number less than 3. Okay, so A, you're going to roll a 1 times a 2, and then a 3, there's 1 out of 6, then a 4, 1 out of 6. So this is 1 6 to the 4th power, which is 1 over 1296. B. B would be in any order. Okay. Well, it could be any order, so there's going to be multiple ways that you could do it. You could do a 4 first, you could do a 2, you could do a 3, and then the 1. Or you could do 1, 3, 4, 2, right? So what this means is you have to arrange all the arrangements of 4 objects. So it's 4 factorial. That's how many ways you could do this. But it's still times the probability that we had before, right? So it's this probability, but then there's suddenly 24 ways to do it because there's not just one way to do it, there's 24. So the answer is 24 out of 1296. And I think you could do it, which is 1 out of 52. All right. And then C is 2 even numbers. So it's 3 out of 6. And then another even number, 3 out of 6, because there's 3 even numbers. And then you want the number 5, which would be 1 out of 6. And then less than 3 would be 2 out of 6. And we multiply all that together, we get 18 out of 1296, which reduces to 1 over 72. All right, so I'm going to stop it now.